But the other way that I know we use InStat a lot is for our preparation for podcasts.
Yes.
And I think maybe just showing an example. So, you know, we weekly are doing 1 to 2 interviews with a coach or a player, and to come up with questions and topics and ideas, we will dig into their film quite a bit, and we use InStat for our preparation on that. So just an example, we had a interview with Sam Decker back in January, and great interview with Sam. And what we did to kind of prepare was we went in and used InStat to look at a lot of the play types that Sam was involved in and the kind of the offense that Turk Telecom ran and whatnot to help us prepare for conversations with him. So I think, Pat, maybe be interesting just to show for a second how we can look at Sam Decker and the play types.
Yeah, definitely. So I've already actually have him searched here. So just select Sam Decker. And I think, so when we're trying to get like an overview of, what kind of plays he's running or how he's scoring to form our interview, like you said, I think they have a really nice function here, the skills function, which kind of just shows like, how he's scoring, what most of his actions are. So, I mean, here kind of stands out, cutting, which we had a big conversation about, but 92%, I think, is just kind of his efficiency or, how he ranks among other players. But yeah, you just click on it and it'll just give you all the clips of him cutting.
And this was good for us, Pat, because I know with these cutting clips, I mean, we did talk with Sam about it, but yeah, so for us, we can just quickly see what he's really good at, roll through a bunch of these clips, and then come up with ideas on the podcast of, okay, Sam, let's talk about baseline cutting, or let's talk about the pick and roll cutting. I mean, what are you reading? What are you looking at? And this is just a very simple way for us to get, a broad idea of what he does well, which I know we use. I mean, we use this all the time. This is a player we're using it for, we're looking at right now, but any coach we have on will come on InStat to look at some efficiency ratings of their offense and then kind of use it for our topics.
Yeah, agreed. And kind of vice versa, as I think we're going through seeing how a player or coach scores, we generate then ideas for ourselves, or, we also are then, oh, that's a nice play. We find out other stuff, which then we can, of course, continue to tag and just build to our already advanced repertoire of too many things we'll never look at again. But yeah, kind of going back to Decker. So the skills function I like a lot, and we like a lot. And then as well as, field goals, I really like, especially when we're working with the coach and looking at their team, kind of seeing how they score. But, here we're looking at Sam Decker. So, I mean, I love this. And you can just, wherever you want to see, how's he click on it and then just boom, it's showing you all the ways he's scoring, all the ways he made, missed. So that's really useful. And then you can continue to just really limit it down. So if we stay on the cuts, we want to see his cuts, and we obviously want to see his made ones. And then, and then you can, how many games, last 10, last 5, last 3. And then again, you can really filter it down, narrow in kind of what you want to look at, what you want to find. And again, we just see.
And Pat, I would say, and that function, I know I like using toggling back and forth between the whole season and then also the last 3 or 5, because it's another layer. Interesting topic for us is, if you're talking with a player or coach about their entire season, and we can go and say, hey, the last 5 or 3 games, they've been doing this more. And then we can go back to the whole season and look at their first 3 or 4 or 5 games and see if there's any differences in what they're doing, see if they're playing better or running something different. So I know I love that function a lot too, of just getting a quick look at what they're doing recently and what they've been doing all season, and if there's any similarities or differences.
Yes, agreed. Yeah. And I also like too, and Sam Decker, he actually mentioned a specific play in the interview. And so we were able to pull it up really easily. It wasn't Sam Decker, it was a hammer screen for one of their players. But, to show the point, like it was easy enough. We just go to the advanced filter. It was, I think, a Turkish league game, and I forget the name, but we can just, okay,
Yeah,
it
it
was
was
say
the
it was
hammer
against
set, right?
Tophus. Yeah, hammer set against Tophus. We can click on it, and then we can just go made. Again, it wasn't Decker, but then we can see where the shot charts were coming just from that specific game, and it's super easy then to find the play, if that
Right.
makes sense. So,
Pat, the other thing I like too within this, what you're on right now, this field goals section, is another area for our edits that sometimes I love the assist, being able to look at the assist clips a lot as well on InStat. I mean, it's always great watching someone finish a play, but sometimes we're looking for a specific action, and sometimes those actions are better found through assists, like a dribble handoff to a kick out. And so being able to, say, look at Sam Decker's assists and where his assists are coming from, going back to the podcast, also help us go, okay, what actions is he being put into? And other than just scoring, what areas is he operating out of? So that helps a lot as well.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I mean, honestly, you're going to be really hard pressed to not find what you're looking for through this program. Right. Just of all the searches they have, how you can narrow it and find it. Like the play doesn't exist, you can't find it.
Right, exactly. Could you, since you're controlling this right now, I think the one function that I know a lot of coaches or people that are interested maybe in using InStat might be interested in is the pick and rolls. So, because that obviously with the pick and roll being such a big part of the game, if you can maybe click on that tab, we can talk about it.
Yeah, I think actually let's go, since Sam Decker is not a huge pick and roll guy, let's go to his team. I think it'd be a better. So now we're on his team, Turk Telecom, and then we go to the pick and roll function. And again, Dan, I mean, again, the shot chart of just obviously where they're scoring, but what I love more is just, okay, you want side pick and roll, top pick and rolls, going left, right. And I mean, again, now that we all click on it, and then it's just going to pull up all the pick and rolls that are happening.
Going to the right.
Yeah, going to the right from the left wing or so. But and then you can narrow it down if you want to see, okay, if we stick with Decker, we want to see Decker. We want to see when Decker is the screener, whether he's rolling or popping. And then again, so now it shows us all the pick and rolls he's in as a screener. He seems to be on the left side a lot. We click on that. And then pick and roll.
And Pat, just to switch hats a little bit right now. I mean, obviously right now we're talking about somewhat how we use this to put together edits or find actions or whatnot from a sort of a content creation standpoint. But I know for sure, from a coaching, scouting standpoint, obviously this is very valuable to be able to look at, the types of on-ball screens that Sam Decker is in and what he's doing after the screen. So as you're creating a scouting report going up against Turk Telecom or whoever, you get a pretty good sense of all the film and the ways that they use him. So kind of switching hats a little bit as well from the content creator podcast to the coach. Obviously this is meant for coaches and very valuable in that sense as well.
Your point, I think, which is even more useful, or not useful, but what coaches will like too, is you can click on the defensive function, how they defend in the pick and rolls. And again, you can go last 3 games, whether you're preparing a scout, and you can see just how they're going to handle a pick and roll middle ball screen, what kind of the defense they're running. When you begin to scout and formulate your strategy, you don't need to watch a ton of film on it now, but and I think you can also distinguish between, how often are they going over or under, and again, all the clips just readily available for you.
Yeah.
So,
and I think there's a lot of functionality that obviously we didn't go through all of them, looking at that top there of the video summaries and lineups and things like that um, are useful for us in different ways as well. Sometimes when we go to a team, start to look at a team, we'll go to the video summaries and just look at all their handoffs, from the right side to see if we can, gain any sort of conceptual idea of what they're doing. Kind of can see that functionality here. So, Pat, I guess to wrap up, just going back to one of the reasons that we were excited to partner with InStat, and they've been great to us, is just makes our job a lot easier, trying to sift through film and find concepts and, distill down into what we eventually do in with releasing things with Slappin Glass and the podcast, but then also obviously both of us being coaches as well, on top of the Slappin Glass stuff, the usefulness of just using this for your overall scouting purposes too.
Yeah, 100%. All the games have been broken down. They're easily clippable. You can search what you're looking for. You can watch a full game, no doubt. And then you can also just, if you get a good feel for them, or for us, we know what we want, what we're looking for. It's all just kind of a click away of just finding it instantly, and not having to waste any time, be as super efficient as possible. Yeah.
So, Pat, I guess we'll wrap this up here. Thanks everybody for watching. If you are interested, we have our email listed below. And like mentioned earlier, members of our newsletter. So if you sign up for our newsletter, you can get a 10% discount on InStat. And so you can do that below as well in this video. And we're happy to kind of connect you and help you going forward.